Okay, we have a Russian SKS here. Never been fired, so we're gonna fire it for the first time.
In a world torn apart by fire and steel, one empire faced a brutal truth. Their prized rifle was ancient, slow, clunky, and way past its prime. But deep inside Soviet labs, hidden under layers of Cold War secrecy, a new weapon was being forged, not for glory, but for survival. The SKS, sleek, semi-auto, and decades ahead of its time. Not a headline hero, but a silent beast that reshaped the battlefield before anyone noticed. You're watching Ultimate Top 10s, and today we uncover the ghost legend of Soviet steel, the rifle that was never meant to shine, but refused. Number 10. The SKS rifle. While the Mosin Nagant was still the Soviet standard, it was heavy, slow, and outdated. They knew it, and they wanted better. When Soviet troops got their hands on Germany's 7.92mm Kurz ammo, it sparked a whole new vision, a smaller, lighter round that hit hard but was easy to control. That's when the 7.62 Kan39mm M43 was born. Enter Sergei Simonov. His new design, the SKS, was a semi-automatic carbine built for this new round. It was shorter, lighter, and way easier to handle than the Mosin. And thanks to its loose-fitting parts, the SKS kept firing even when dirty, a lifesaver on the Eastern Front. Although the war ended before the SKS went into full swing, it saw real combat and impressed Red Army brass. By 1949, the SKS became the Soviet Union's go-to rifle, at least for a while. But as warfare evolved and full auto fire became the standard, the AK-47 took the spotlight. The SKS might have been overshadowed by the AK, but it laid the groundwork for modern Soviet firearms. Still in use today in over 50 countries, this rifle proves that sometimes Plan B ends up making history. Number 9. M1 Garand. Let's rewind back to the early 1900s, when the US military was still rocking bolt-action rifles like it was the peak of technology. But one man was about to change the game forever. Enter John Garand, a French-Canadian engineer with serious innovation vibes. In 1919, Garand joined the U.S. Army's Springfield Armory and started cooking up an automatic rifle prototype. Started off as a blowback design, but tests in the mid-1920s showed it wasn't quite there yet. The Army tested a bunch of rifles, but nothing was blowing minds. Fast forward to 1928. Garand switched lanes and went gas-operated. Yeah, the same tech that would make the M1 a beast. Meanwhile, everyone was hyped about the .276 Pedersen rifle. But General Douglas MacArthur straight up vetoed the caliber switch, 'cause Uncle Sam had boatloads of .30-06 ammo just chillin'. So Garand took his .30 caliber design back to the lab, tweaked the bolt, and boom, the T1E2 was born. After more field tests, it got the green light in 1936 as the M1 Garand. This rifle slapped in WWII. It was semi-auto, reliable, and faster than any bolt action on the battlefield. General Patton even called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. And that's how one man's vision changed military firepower forever. Hit that like if you're into legendary weapons, and sub for more war tech breakdowns. Number 8. Swiss K31. Alright fam, today we're diving into one of the cleanest, most underrated bolt-action rifles ever made, the Swiss K31. It's not just a rifle, it's a piece of precision engineering straight out of Switzerland. What makes the K31 stand out? First off, it's not your average bolt gun. Designed in 1931, this beast came with straight pull bolt action, which means faster cycling than your typical turn bolt rifles. No twisting, just pull back and slam forward. It's slick, fast, and super satisfying to use. This rifle fires the 7.55 55mm Swiss round, accurate, hard-hitting, and super consistent. Pair that with the Swiss obsession with quality control and you've got a rifle that can punch holes in paper at 500 yards. These rifles were mostly issued to citizen soldiers, not full-time military. Switzerland had a militia-style defense system, and every soldier took their K31 home with them. It was like the ultimate national trust exercise. Oh, and get this, some K31s still have soldier ID tags under the butt plate. You could literally trace your surplus rifle back to the Swiss dude who carried it. So yeah, it's accurate, reliable, and built with Swiss watchmaker-level craftsmanship. While the rest of Europe was getting wrecked in WWII, the Swiss were up in the mountains with these laser-accurate rifles, making sure no one messed with their chocolate or neutrality. Number 7. Lee-Enfield rifles. This bad boy wasn't just a rifle. It was the backbone of the British Empire for decades. First made in the late 1800s, the Lee-Enfield went through a bunch of upgrades. But the most famous version? That's the SMLE Mk3rd, and later the number 4 Mky. These rifles were everywhere, from the trenches of WWII to the jungles of WQ. What made it different? The Lee-Enfield had a 10-round magazine, double most bolt-action rifles of its time. And with its smooth-as-butter bolt action, trained soldiers could fire 15 rounds per minute accurately. The rear locking bolt and short bolt throw. Less movement, more speed. Combine that with rugged reliability and you've got a weapon that literally held the line for decades. This rifle served in both World Wars, Korea, and even popped up in modern conflicts. The Enfield was built like a tank and hit like one too. Chambered in .303 British, this round had range, stopping power, and serious history. From snipers to standard infantry, everyone trusted this rifle to get the job done. If the Garand was the king of semi-auto, the Lee-Enfield was the undisputed goat of bolt actions. Fast, accurate, reliable, no cap. Drop a comment. Would you take a Lee-Enfield into battle, or are you team Car 98K? Don't forget to like, sub, and ring that bell for more fire military history content. Peace out. Number 6. Mosin Nagant born. In 1891, the Mosin Nagant is a Russian beast that fought in every major war from WWII to Vietnam, and even shows up in modern conflicts. Over 37 million were made. That's not just mass production, that's mass destruction. It's chambered in 7.62 54 mm, a hard-hitting round that's still used by Russian machine guns today. And while the bolt's kinda clunky, let's be real, it still got the job done in ice, mud, and pure chaos. Unlike the Car 98K or Lee-Enfield, the Mosin wasn't about being pretty or smooth. It was about pure, rugged survival. Russian soldiers called it the soldier's broomstick. Not fancy, but reliable as hell. And don't sleep on the sniper version, the Mosin Nagant PU sniper. Thanks to legends like Vasily Zaitsev, this rifle earned its deadly rep in World War II. Quiet, precise, and lethal at long range, it was a headshot machine. Also, let's not forget the absurdly long bayonet. The thing basically turned into a spear. Russian tactics? So yeah, it may be old, heavy, and sometimes stiff, but the Mosin Nagant refused to quit. It's the ultimate underdog that survived empires, revolutions, and world wars. Number 5. The Mauser K98K. This ain't just a rifle, it's a straight-up WWII legend. Meet the Karabiner 98K, aka the Mauser K98K, Germany's go-to bolt-action beast. Introduced in 1935, the K98K was Germany's main battle rifle throughout World War II. Chambered in 7.92's 57mm Mauser, this bad boy hit like a truck and had sniper-level accuracy in the right hands. Its bolt action was smooth, solid, and fast as far as bolt guns go. German engineering at its finest. You could rack and fire quick if you knew what you were doing. Compared to the American M1 Garand, it had a slower rate of fire, true, but what it lost in speed, it made up for in precision, range, and deadly power. This rifle was built to last and built to kill. Oh, and don't sleep on the sniper versions. Add a ZF-41 scope and now you've got a serious headshot machine. Some of the top Nazi snipers ran this thing like a scalpel. Just slap on the bayonet and you're suddenly reenacting trench warfare. Brutal and unforgiving. This thing wasn't just a rifle, it was a multi-role weapon. Whether you love it or hate it, the Mauser K98K set the bar for bolt actions worldwide. Its influence is everywhere, from hunting rifles to military surplus shelves. A true classic. Number 4. Yo, if you're into modern classics, then the Springfield.
M1A is your dream gun with old-school soul and new-school muscle. The M1A dropped in the 1970s, but it's basically the civilian version of the U.S. military's M14, aka the Cold War powerhouse that replaced the Garand.
Both fire the 7.620 1mm NATO round, but the M1A gives you that same brutal range and power without the full auto military hardware. This rifle is a laser beam at mid to long ranges, Super accurate, super reliable. People swear by it for competition, hunting, and even tactical builds. That action? Smooth. It's got that classic Garand-style operating system, but with modern upgrades. Semi-auto, 10-round mags, and yes, you can get 20s too if you're feeling spicy. And yo, check the SOCOM 16 variant. Short barrel, tactical rails, way more compact. It's like the M1A had a baby with a battle rifle and made a beast for CQB. Whether you're rocking the traditional woodstock for that Vietnam-era look or a modern chassis with optics, the M1A lets you customize your vibe. Serious shooters love it. Old-school collectors worship it. And trust me, nothing beats the sound of that steel hitting at 600 yards with this rifle. The Springfield M1A is a perfect mix of military heritage and modern firepower. If you want a battle rifle that turns heads and crushes targets, this one's it. Would you take the M1A into the apocalypse? Drop your answer below. Smash that like if you love classic American firepower. And stay locked in for the final top picks on Ultimate Top 10s. Number 3. The Carcano M91 series. Let's talk about one of Italy's most iconic rifles, the Carcano M91. Born in the 19th century, this bolt-action beast stuck around for 2 world wars. The M91 first hit the E, seen in 1891, chambered in 6.55 52mm Carcano, and it was the Italian Army's go-to rifle all the way through World War II. It's got that straight bolt handle and 6-round clip-fed magazine using on-block clips. Kinda like the M1 Garand, but earlier. Load it, cycle it, and you're in business. It saw action from the trenches of WWII to the deserts of North Africa in WW2. Not the most powerful round, but it was reliable, lightweight, and easy to mass produce. Then came the M91-38, a shorter version made for quicker handling. This one? Yeah, it's infamous. It was the rifle used in the assassination of JFK by Lee Harvey Oswald. That moment alone locked this rifle into history forever, even though most shooters today say it's kinda mid in terms of performance. Accuracy-wise, it's hit or miss. Literally, the sights are basic, and the ballistics of that 6.5mm round are soft compared to other military rifles of the time. But it's got character, mechanically simple, unique action, and a major piece of military history, not just for Italy but for the whole 20th century. Whether you love it or question it, the Carcano M91 series carved its place in history. From global battlefields to conspiracy theories, it's one unforgettable rifle. Number 2. Turkish Mausers. The model 1938 coming in hot at number 2. We've got a sleeper pick that's built tough and aged like a fine Ottoman rifle. The Turkish Mauser model 1938. This bolt-action legend is basically Turkey's remix of the German Mauser design. Think of it as a fusion build, part German engineering, part Turkish durability. The model 1938 was chambered in 7.922 55mm Mauser, also known as 8mm Mauser, a hard-hitting round with serious battlefield power. Turkey took rifles from different sources, German, Czech, Belgian, and standardized them under the 1938 model format. So these rifles weren't just built, they were rebuilt, reworked, and refined. Smooth bolt, solid action, and a long barrel for max accuracy. These rifles were made to last, and boy did they deliver. Most M38s were refurbished at Kırıkkale Arsenal, where Turkish armorers swapped barrels, refinished stocks, and made sure every rifle met spec. Basically, these dudes were doing custom builds before it was cool. You'll notice the Turkish crescent and star engraved right on the receiver. That detail? Chef's kiss. While it shares DNA with the German K98K, the M38 is its own beast. Longer, heavier, but just as deadly when in the hands of a trained shooter. Collectors love them today for their unique history and mix-and-match parts. No 2 M38s are exactly alike. Each one's got its own vibe. The Turkish Mauser model 1938 isn't just a rifle. It's a symbol of a country adapting global tech to its own needs. Durable, powerful, and full of legacy. Number 1. Type 99. Arisaka Io. We made it to the top spot. And trust, this bad boy earned it. Meet the Type 99. Arisaka, Japan's answer to, we need a rifle that slaps. Brought into action during World War II, the Type 99 was Tokyo's upgrade from the older Type 38. And this one came with attitude. It fired the 7.79 58mm round, A real punch compared to the smaller 6.5mm used before. Bigger bullet, brace and more impact. Japan wasn't playing. This bolt-action beast had that iconic Japanese build. Super rugged, super overbuilt, and low-key indestructible. Like drop it, drag it, flood it, it still runs. And yo, get this, it had built-in anti-aircraft sights. Like FR, they really thought soldiers were gonna shoot planes with iron sights. You might spot a chrysanthemum stamp on top. That was the Emperor's mark. It meant that gun was property of the Imperial Japanese Army. Many were defaced after surrender, but original crests? Mad collectible. Now, against Allied rifles like the Garand or Lee-Enfield, the Type 99 held its own in accuracy and durability, but fell short in rate of fire. Still, in the trenches and jungles, it got the job done. Today, collectors love this rifle. It's a snapshot of WWII history, both brutal and brilliant. And if you find one in mint condition, that's a flex, right? There, the Type 99. Arisaka was more than a rifle. It was Japan's last stand in steel and wood. And that's why it's sitting at number 1 on our list. It didn't scream power, it whispered precision. Overshadowed by the AK-47, buried in crates, scattered across continents, yet somehow it survived, thrived, and became a cult icon. This wasn't just a backup rifle. It was Plan B that went beast mode. So next time someone talks legendary weapons, drop this name like a warhead, SKS. And if you're all about war tech, forgotten firepower, and military beasts from the shadows, lock in, like, subscribe, and stay locked on Ultimate Top 10s, where the realest legends rise from the smoke. Till next time, soldier, stay strapped with knowledge,